Most day traders overcomplicate the game of trading, whether they have a whole bunch of indicators on their chart that's telling them, hey, price is going to go up, but also price may or may not go down. Or they know and they understand 10 different strategies or 30 different confluences that tell them price is going to go up, or no, price is going to go sideways, or no, price is going to go down, or no, you probably shouldn't be trading for the next week. And this is why the majority of traders stay broke and stay unprofitable within the markets, because it's just information overload. What I want to show you guys today is the first ever strategy that helped me turn profitable and helped me make my first $100,000 within the market. It's super simple, super easy to understand, and I'm not going to go through any fluff, any BS. We're going to get straight into the charts. So with that being said, let's jump into it. The first thing that I want you guys to understand before we jump into like confluences and oh my goodness, new day trading strategy, I can't wait to turn profitable, okay? Like, we need to clarify something. A lot of people think day trading is this super mega advanced impossible skill. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be super freaking easy for you guys to learn how to day trade and for you guys to become profitable. But what I am going to tell you guys is you just need to master just a couple skills in order to turn profitable within trading. And if you guys want a full breakdown of all the confluences and the strategy that I use currently to make literally hundreds of thousands of dollars from the market every single year, I'm going to leave a little link in the description to give you guys free access to a full in-depth course. It's like 5.5 hours long for you guys to go over every single confluence that I talk about within this video and also get the current strategy that I'm using today, because it's a little bit different than this current strategy that I'm using, but this is a very good starting point to get your feet off the ground. So with that being said, I want to clarify. Day trading is very difficult. However, it's not impossible, and you don't need to know and understand like fractals and quantum physics, okay? You really just have to master the basics. I love comparing day trading to basketball because it's super similar, okay? It's a very high leverage skill, especially at the professional level, okay? Professional day traders, they can make a whole bunch of money. Professional basketball players, we already know they're making a bankroll, okay? But in order to get to the NBA, or in order to be good, like max stat, super good at really any skill, you just have to be insanely good at the fundamentals. So if we think about basketball, like what do you have to be good at in order to be successful and go to the NBA? Okay, you have to have really good basketball IQ. You have to be really good at passing the ball. You have to be really good at dribbling the ball, and you have to be really fucking good at shooting the basketball, okay? Those are just 4 freaking skills that you guys need in order to master to be able to get to the high level. Now, again, there's a difference between 24-hour fitness hoopers who know how to pass, who know how to dribble, who know how to shoot, who have, subpar basketball IQ, compared to the people in the NBA who are far better at those base fundamentals. Okay, the people in the NBA, they're doing the same shit, but just at a far better level. And it's the same exact thing with day trading. Day trading, it's actually even easier because we just have to be good at 3 skills, okay? We have to understand strategy, which is what I'm about to go over. We have to understand risk management, okay? So how much risk we're going to be putting on into the charts on a daily basis, and I cover that in the free course. And then psychology, which I also cover in the free course. But today, I wanna focus on the one skill of strategy and confluences, and this was able to literally take me from not making any money to being able to actually make money from the market. So with that being said, let's jump into this. And believe it or not, before I used to trade indexes only, which is the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, okay? You guys know me as a futures and a US equities trader. However, today's strategy is actually going to be going over foreign exchange, okay? And I'm going to show you guys how we can actually relate this over to US equities and indexes, because I know a lot of people that follow me, they want to learn how to trade NASDAQ. They want to learn how to trade the S&P 500. So I'm going to show you guys not only how we can apply this to Forex, because that's what I was originally trading on during London session, but I'm going to show you guys how we can relate this all the way back over to US equities as well. So make sure you guys stay to the end of the video so you guys can see that, because this isn't just a Forex based video. And the Forex traders, I'm finally showing you guys some love. So let's jump into this. Let's go onto the pair that I used to trade the most, which is GBP JPY. So the very first thing that we're going to want to do is to highlight the session highs and the session lows of every single session. So I actually have this little indicator that does it for me. I know I was shit talking indicators, but I'm talking about indicators that like tell you when to buy and when to sell. Those are bullshit. This is literally just to help me out. And I mean, fuck it. I just have these made for me to make my life a lot easier. If you guys want it, I'll give you guys access to it if you guys like really freaking want it that super duper bad, fuck it. Yeah, I'll put a link in the description if you guys want these things. I kind of just keep them for myself though. A lot of people were asking about it on stream. But this is what I called the London session fakeout. So before I even knew about liquidity sweeps and break of structure and fair value gaps, okay, I was trading London session on GBP JPY and GBP USD. Those were like my main pairs. And what I noticed is I would get into a trade like right before London session would open, because I was in like California at the time. So like end of Asian session going into London session was like late for me. I was in high school and I was like, this is honestly like fucking perfect time for me to trade, even though I didn't really understand that Asian session was a horrible time to trade at the time. So every single time I would be getting into a freaking like long position right before London session would open. And I'm like, yeah, we're in an uptrend coming out of Asian session. It's beautiful. I'm going to get into a long position and I want to target these highs all the way up here because I want a 1-to-4 risk to reward ratio. And then what I would notice literally every single London session was that London session would open and then it would move up drastically. And then it would just go in the opposite direction. And every single time it took, and believe it or not, I know I was dumb at the time. I was a little bit similar to you guys, you know, you're like, why isn't it working? And then you just keep making the same mistakes over and over again. I would keep taking these long positions every single freaking day, bro. And I would keep getting stopped out. And I'm like, well, what the heck? The trend is my friend. I'm following the trend and I'm placing a buy position and the high time frame says it's going to go higher. So what is happening? And then it got to the point where I finally realized like, okay, I keep making the same mistake every single time. So, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have done this before too. I was like, if I keep getting stopped out, what if I just place a trade in the opposite direction? So then I started placing short positions right here instead. And I would put my stop loss above like these highs, and then I would target whatever, like these lows all the way down here for a 1-to-4 risk to reward ratio. But then again, London session would open and then it would move up and I'm like, damn it. So my long positions don't hit take profit and my short positions don't hit take profit. And then boom, a vision occurred to me one night while I was trading London session. I was like, wait a second, the market is repeating itself every single day. And guys, this literally took me months to figure out. This is how like little brain cells I had. And guess what? If I was able to figure this shit out and I'm able to tell you guys how to do it, trust me, I believe that you guys will be able to turn profitable, because if that level of IQ was able to understand this shit, you guys will be able to understand this as well. So I was like, wait a second, right when London session opens, it moves up and then it goes in the opposite direction. And I'm like, whoa, this is a London session fake out. And again, I didn't understand liquidity sweeps. I didn't understand session highs and session lows or any of these things at the time, okay? But that's what I was going off of. So then, instead of just pressing short and pressing long going into London session, what I would do is I would wait for London session to open. I would wait for it to make its drastic move. And then, yes, believe it or not, the low IQ that I had, I would see like, boom, it's going up, boom, press short, whatever, stop loss, where literally not a thought in the world, not a single brain cell. I'm just like, oh, it went up. So guess what? It's probably going to go down now. And guess what? I actually was hitting trades using this. Now, do I want you guys to follow this to a T? Absolutely freaking not, because there's a lot of other confluences that I'm going to teach you guys in this video to make this strategy way better and way safer. But my win rate started increasing. Did I turn profitable off of just pressing short right when London session started to go up? No, but I was seeing progress. So I was like, okay, I'm understanding this. Jump shot, I understand it now, okay? Lethal shooter, all right? We know that when London session opens, it moves up, and then that probably means that London session is going to move down for the day, for the most part, okay? That this is unprofitable me thinking at like literally 2 a.m. at night. I understand that. So how can I make this a little bit better? Well, I know the trend is my friend until the trend is no longer my friend. So what did I do? I was like, okay, well, I want to take a relatively lower time frame trade. And what would happen to me is like, I would see a move similar to this, right? London session would open and it would move up, and then I would just press short like right here, and then, You know, I'd maybe target these lows, but I'll get stopped out like this because obviously I wasn't waiting for any confirmation. So those were the losses that I was taking. So then I was thinking, okay, well, what if I just wait for the 5 minute to change its trend? And then that was a game changer for me. So then I was like, okay, bet we're gonna wait for the London session fake out. When London session moves up, I know the move for London session is going to move down. Again, this is unprofitable me thinking, not smart Giga Chad me. But okay, this is unprofitable me thinking. London session moves up, and then if we just wait for a break of structure, then the trend will no longer be our friend, and then the trend will in turn turn into our friend because London session fake out, and then it's gonna go in our direction. Giga brain. And this was literally it, bro. And I'm going to add other confluences to this so we can make this far better. But this is literally what helped me turn profitable. What helped me pass some of my first funded accounts, what helped me get some of my first payouts ever, was waiting for this London session fake out. And we're going to go more in depth into these confluences, but we're just breaking down the dumbass me first. Wait for the London session fake out, and then wait for a 5 minute change in trend. So let's look at this example. And this is crazy because look, this was literally today's price action and we would have fucking banged on this trade. It's actually crazy that well, it's not crazy because it works for me, but it's just super cool that we can break this down in such a simple manner and show that this works. Anyways, London session fake out. We wait for London session to break structure to the downside. And then this is when I would press short. And all I would do is I would put my stop loss above the high of the London session fake out, and I would just go ahead and target Asian session lows. 1 to freaking 3 risk to reward ratio, bang work. Like what? This happened today. This literally happened today. Are you like, okay, so what do we have to understand to be able to like fully understand the strategy? The first thing that we have to understand, the session times. The second thing that we have to understand, draws on liquidity, so session highs and session lows, and break of structure. I'm going to keep it as simple as that for today because genuinely this strategy turned me profitable. Now, my win rate wasn't crazy. I was still taking losses, but this helped me pass funded accounts, and this made me a profitable trader by learning and understanding these concepts. So the first thing that we need to understand, Asian session, the time zones, okay? And again, I have this little indicator that is able to mark out the session highs and lows, but I don't have something to mark out the time zone. So Asian session starts, first thing that you guys are going to want to do is change your chart settings to New York time. At least if you guys want to align it with mine, you guys can have it on like whatever, Bulgaria time or fucking Chinese time, whatever you guys want, okay? Indian time, whatever you guys need, but just make sure it aligns with these times that I'm telling you guys, okay? So mine's on UTC -4 New York. Cool? Sorry. Okay, so Asian session, it opens at 1800. When does Asian session end? Technically, it ends at 3. Okay, London session pre-market starts at 2, but we want to mark it at 3. So we know when Asian session starts, 1800. It ends at 3. London session pre-market technically starts at 2, but starts at 3, and then it ends at 8 or London session ends at 11:30. But 8 is when New York pre-market starts, so we're going to leave it like that. Because at the end of the day, we're really just focused on London session open, at least for the foreign exchange part, okay? We're going to get into the US part, or US equities and indexes and all of that stuff. So boom, we have our session times. Perfect, super simple, super easy. We mark out these session times, awesome. Now, once we have these session times, we're going to want to be able to mark out the highs and the lows of every single session. So again, I have my handy dandy indicator that does that shit for me, but you guys don't need that shit by any means. It just makes my life a trillion times easier. So let's remove that for a second and let's go ahead and do it ourselves. So from 1800 to 3, we're going to mark out the high. Where's the high? High of Asian persuasion right here. Low of Asian persuasion right here. And then for this strategy, we don't really need to mark out London session high and London session low because during the foreign exchange hours, this is when we're going to be trading. But what we do also want to mark out is New York. So New York session. When does New York session start? 8. When does it end? Working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living, barely getting by. This is what we're gonna break you out of the fucking 9 to 5. Okay, 9, 5, 1700. Or actually it ends at 1600 because look, you'll see the gap. So 1800, look at the 1800, and then when we jump over to this candle, or this is actually spread hour, so you can only see it on indexes, but whatever. New York is from 8 to 1600. So even though this didn't apply for this trade, we're still going to want to mark that out as well. So we'll go ahead and mark out Ocho. And then we're going to want to mark out the highs and lows of that as well. So New York high, New York low. So we understand the session opens, we understand the session closes, we understand that we're going to want to mark the highs and the lows of every single session. Now, how do we understand break of structure? Again, I explained that super in depth in the free course. Again, link in the description if you guys want to understand that, but I'm going to break it down for you guys as well in this video. So, market structure, what is it? So, if you guys are little baby boys and you guys don't understand trading at all, market moves in higher highs and higher lows when it's in an uptrend. When it's in a downtrend, it moves in lower highs and lower lows. Cool? Cool. So these are the two ways the market moves. It also can move sideways, but we're not focused on that. We're focused on higher highs and higher lows, lower highs and lower lows. So how do we break an uptrend? How do we break the current market structure? Well, if an uptrend gets broken, what happens? We no longer make higher highs and higher lows. We end up making lower lows and lower highs to turn into a downtrend. If we're in a downtrend, how do we break a downtrend? Well, we literally break it. We move past the most recent lower high that was made and we make a higher high, and then we make a higher low, and then we turn into an uptrend. So when we break structure, what are we looking for? We're looking in an uptrend at the most recent lows that are made within the market. We're looking for those to get closed underneath. Because what is that telling us? That's telling us that, hey, the uptrend is over. We broke the uptrend structure. When we're in a downtrend, what are we looking for? We're looking for the most recent lower high to get closed above in order to say, hey, we broke this downtrend. We broke structure to probably continue higher. So how can we show this on the chart? I marked it out right here as I was speed running this, but let's look. So coming into London session, we have a high right here. We have a low, a higher high, a higher low. Now, this is a perfect example of what a break of structure is not. A low consists of a move down, then a move up, and the lowest point of those two candlestick wicks. A high consists of a move up, then a move down, and the highest point of those two candlestick wicks. For us to break structure, we have to have a candle close underneath the low. So, let me just remove this for now. So, on this right here, for our OG London session fake out, I probably would have lost this trade if I was just going off of London session went up. Okay, now I'm gonna press sell, and I would have been stopped out. Why? Because we didn't break structure here. Move down, then a move up. This is our low. We do see candlestick wicks go underneath here, but do we see this black? Do we see this black candlestick close underneath this low? No, we do not. We only see wicks go underneath the low, and then we continue the uptrend to make a higher high. And then what do? We make a higher low. But on this one, move down, then a move up. So we're going to want to mark it out. Why? Because again, London session fake out, it's moving up, right? So we're assuming that London session's eventually going to move down. So with that in mind, we're going to want to monitor the lows because we want to see a break in the current uptrend that London session is in. Move down, then a move up. We mark out that low. And then what do we see? A black candlestick closure underneath the low. Okay. Once we get that, that was my sign at the time to just go ahead and enter. And I put my stop loss above these highs. And then what did I do? This is going into more of the strategy, but boom, that's break of structure explained within the strategy. So we need to understand the session times. We need to understand where the session highs and the lows are. We need to understand break of structure. Now we need to understand when and where to actually enter with all of these confluences. So let's strip this thing down again and let's remove all of these real quick. And let's say we're going into, boom, London session open. We are going to want to mark out Asian session high. We're going to want to mark out Asian session low. We're going to want to mark out New York session high. And we're going to want to mark out New York low. Now, if Asian session has already pushed past the New York low, we no longer care about this level. Why? Because it's already been pushed past. So we can go ahead and get rid of this. Okay, we would only care if New York has a low down here or underneath Asian session's low, okay, in this down scenario, all right? So London session opens, we push above this high. The second that we are able to push above a session high, whether it's Asian session high or New York session high, I'm immediately going to the 5-minute time frame and I'm going to be monitoring these lows. So boom, we push above Asian session highs. I'm monitoring these lows. Do we get a break of structure here? No. Now I'm monitoring these lows because these are the new lows that got made. Do we get a break of structure here? No. Okay, we come up, we make a new low. Boom. Do we get a break of structure here? Yes. This is when I was entering and I was putting my stop loss above these highs. Now, for targets, what was I doing? I was simply just targeting the previous session lows. So again, that's why I was saying if we had New York session lows down here, I would have wanted to target that as a second take profit. But in this case, we don't have New York session lows down there and we just have Asian session lows right here. So what do? I enter right here, my stop loss are above these highs, and we can go ahead and target Asian session lows. 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio, plain and freaking simple, just like that. And this is the strategy that turned me profitable. Now I do want to add a couple more things in here to enhance this strategy, okay? And I also want to show you guys how we can correlate this to the US indexes, okay? This was our first example, and keep in mind, this literally happened today. I didn't have to go back and search for like the perfect trade set. Like, no, this literally happened today, bro. This isn't no bar replay bullshit. This literally happened today, bro. So we're going to go to the following day and we're going to see if the same shit happened. Okay, so one more time, we have, again, this is just the following day. New York lows, New York highs, Asian lows, Asian highs, and this time neither New York highs or New York lows get hit during Asian session, so we'll go ahead and leave both those on. London session opens, we push underneath Asian session lows, we push super far down, we almost take out these New York session lows, but what are we going to do since we're pushing down? London session fake out. We're monitoring highs, we get a break of structure right here. This is looking like another London session loss. However, I'm pretty sure you guys can see what's going to happen following this. So again, boom, like this, targets Asian session high, New York high. We move around 2% in profit, which is pretty freaking good. But unfortunately, we end up getting stopped out. So boom, now we're at what, 5.5% gained over the past, what is it, like 4 trading sessions? What happens come New York session? We're going to go ahead and get rid of these Asian session lows because they got taken out. We're going to go ahead and put on London session lows now and put on London session highs. and take off these New York lows because they got taken out during London session. What do we see? New York session opens. When do we push underneath those lows? Right here. When do we get the break of structure? Right here. Wraps, bro. First target, London session high, bro. 1 to 4 risk to reward. 1 to 4.4 risk to reward. Previous Asian session highs, 1 to 5.4 risk to reward. Previous New York session highs, 1 to 5.63 risk to reward. Every single one of them got hit. So that puts us at around a 10.6 or even more. It's like an 11% gain over the past 4 trading sessions using this freaking simple strategy. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here because I don't want to overcomplicate you guys and overstimulate you guys with US indexes and US equities and all of this shit. If you guys want to know my in-depth US indexes trading strategy and all the confluences that I use, because I don't want this video to go too long, watch that super long free course, that 5.5 hour long video that I'm going to link in the description for you guys, so you guys can learn all like my current strategy that uses and plays off of session highs and session lows and break of structure, but I add a couple more advanced things in there. And then on top of that, if you guys want to just like skip over all of the bullshit of jumping from YouTube video to YouTube video, and if you guys just want to learn from me directly, I have a mentorship and a teaching program where you guys can learn literally every single confluence that I use within the market and be able to ask me your personal trading questions. So if you guys want access to me, myself, and other profitable traders to be able to get access to my Discord where you guys can literally send in trades just like this and be like, hey, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? Because I know personally my unprofitable self would have benefited very freaking heavily from that while he was trying to figure out the London session fake out, and I can't figure out what's going on. And it literally took me months to be able to figure out this strategy on my own, versus if I just had my current self here, I literally would have been able to fix that within a day and turn profitable pretty much within a freaking day by being able to solve my problem. So again, with these YouTube videos, I'm just trying to make a general assumption of the unprofitable trader. And I think I do a pretty good job of that. And I think I do a good job of showing you guys strategy and showing you guys confluences and going over the majority of mistakes that unprofitable me would make. But I don't know about unprofitable you, and only you know your personal trading errors and trading mistakes and trading questions. And I don't know how to answer those unless you guys can talk to me directly and talk to other profitable traders directly. And that's what I want to give you guys through my mentorship. So if you guys want to sign up to that, I'll leave another link in the description. Or if you guys just want to learn off this free content, because trust me, my free content is freaking great. By all means, you don't need my mentorship to turn profitable. It's just going to get you there like a lot faster, just being completely honest. By all means, just watch the free videos. I appreciate you guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.